Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really cool solution for one of the biggest hurdles in space exploration, that long, dangerous journey to Mars. Instead of trying to pack everything we need for a 9-month trip, what if we could build a permanent highway system using what's already out there?
Okay, let's get one thing straight. The trip to Mars isn't just long, it's incredibly dangerous. This isn't a simple road trip. We're talking about a voyage that lasts months through one of the most hostile environments we know of, and it pushes our current tech and human endurance right to the absolute limit.
For 6 to 9 months, astronauts will be getting blasted by a constant stream of cosmic rays, nasty stuff that messes with your DNA, all while being cooked up in a tiny space. Every single drop of water, every breath of air, every scrap of food has to be brought from Earth. It's a logistical nightmare with zero margin for error.
So, how in the world do we get around this? Well, the first part of the answer is this really elegant idea from orbital mechanics called a Mars Cycler. And it completely changes how we think about traveling between planets.
The easiest way to picture it is like a cosmic bus route. You put a spacecraft on this clever, repeating orbit that swings it past Earth, then out to Mars, then back to Earth over and over again. And the best part? Once you get it going, it barely needs any fuel. It's just riding the gravitational currents of the solar system. The legendary Buzz Aldrin, who is a huge champion of this idea, had a great way of describing it. He saw these cyclers not just as ships, but as giant orbiting space stations he called castles. They'd be like escalators, providing routine, predictable, and safe rides for anyone heading to Mars or coming back home. So the process would be pretty straightforward. Astronauts would launch from Earth in a small taxi ship, catch up with a massive cycler as it flies by, and then they'd live in a big shielded habitat for the trip. Once they get close to Mars, their taxi just undocks and lands, while the cycler keeps on going in its loop. But where do we get a station big enough to do all that?
I mean, think about it. Instead of launching a massive, multi-billion-dollar station from Earth, piece by agonizingly heavy piece, what if we use something that's already out there, just floating around waiting for us?
And this, right here, is the absolute masterstroke. You combine the cycler concept with asteroids. That's right, we would use an asteroid itself as the vehicle. We'd find the right one, gently nudge it into that perfect cycler orbit, and then build our habitat right on it.
And this is where the comparison just gets incredible. Launching heavy radiation shielding from Earth is wildly expensive. An asteroid gives you meters of solid rock for shielding, for free. Even better, it's packed with its own resources, which completely changes the whole equation for deep space travel.
This idea transforms the cycler from just a vehicle that constantly needs resupply missions from Earth into a truly self-sustaining habitat. It's the ultimate way of living off the land, you know? Just in the vacuum of space. It would let us build a permanent outpost in that vast emptiness between planets.
And that's because water is the absolute gold of the solar system. You can find tons of water ice on even small asteroids, and you can use it for everything. You can surround the habitat with it for amazing radiation shielding, you can split it into oxygen for breathing, use it to grow food in hydroponics, and even process it into rocket fuel for those taxis.
And get this, it gets even better. The waste rock you get from mining, it's not trash. You can feed it into a plasma propulsion engine, which basically vaporizes it to create thrust. This means the entire asteroid can make tiny course corrections without using a single drop of that precious fuel. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel. But the wild part is, the search for these cosmic stepping stones is already well underway. And guess what? We're finding exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, researchers have been poring over orbital data, and they've already found 12 high-priority candidates. And these aren't just random rocks. These are asteroids whose natural orbits are already incredibly close to that perfect cycler path we need.
One of the best examples is an asteroid called 2015 TJ1. It's a great size, about 100 to 200 meters across, and check this out. In 2031, its natural orbit is going to take it on a perfect 175-day trip from Earth to Mars. It's almost as if nature set up the opportunity for us.
So the mission plan pretty much writes itself. We could send a robotic mission out in 2027 to get everything ready, install the habitat, start mining water, get the lights on. That way it's completely ready for the first human crew to hop on board in February 2031, arriving at Mars less than 6 months later. Amazing.
So, when it all comes down to it, by using what's already in space, we could build a permanent, cost-effective, and safe bridge to Mars. This isn't just about a single mission. It's about creating the sustainable infrastructure for humanity's future as a multiplanetary species. The question really isn't if we'll reach for the stars, but how. And hitching a ride on an asteroid highway? That might just be the smartest way to get there.